tell us where we are and what's going on right now?
Today we're out in front of the Minnesota Governor's Mansion in St. Paul, Minneapolis, or St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah.
And today we're here because the state just issued a water permit for the Line 3. They only have one more permit to go, and we're here to remind Tim he has made promises and commitments for climate justice and to Indigenous peoples, and he should not build this pipeline. The governor of Michigan and the AG over there just made big steps to fight, and he can too, so we're here to encourage him to do that.
And how is this pipeline affecting Indigenous people here in Minnesota? And also Canada, I suppose.
Right, so there's socioeconomic impacts that haven't been calculated in the project here. You know, we as Indigenous people live off of the land, so when we're going out there hunting or we're going leaching, those places are now being contaminated, so we can't make that money. There are culturally specific sites and just areas where we go harvest our medicines. We take plants from the land to heal ourselves, and they're contaminating those as well. The very reason that the Anishinaabe people are here is for that bitumen, that wild rice, and this proposed route is set to go through the highest concentration of clean lakes where our wild rice grows.
And how long has the struggle against this specific pipeline been going on?
We've been fighting this pipeline for 6 years. They had anticipated starting construction about 3 years ago, going through the process, but we keep slowing them down and we won't stop. They're not building this pipeline.
And how is it connected to the Indigenous people in Canada?
So the tar sands oil that they're going to ship through this pipeline originates out of Alberta, Canada. Our relatives up there can't drink the water out of their faucets because it's so contaminated with the chemical runoff from where they're pulling this tar sand out of the ground.
And so would you say like the struggle here against the Line 3, Enbridge Line 3 pipeline is in solidarity with people in Canada who are suffering from tar sands?
The fight here in Line 3 connects all of us along this route. We love and care and respect our brothers and sisters to the north and to the south, and we're fighting for all of us.
All right, well thank you so much.
Yep, thank you for being here.
All right everybody, so this thing now we are in St. Paul, Minnesota. This is the Governor's Mansion, this big building right here. Many a protest has gone down here against the governor. And this is the line 3 is an Enbridge pipeline that's going to be bringing tar sands oil. It's kind of called from the Athabasca basin in Canada. The process for tar sands extraction is pretty brutal to the land, to the water, to the earth, to the animals, to everything. People have been against tar sands, fighting against tar sands as it's devastated that area in northern Canada. You can look it up. You can look at the maps of what this process really does. This pipeline, they're studying to be like the biggest conduit of tar sands, and I'm going to kind of break it down. We're going to get a little deep into it, so bear with me. So tar sands, what that is bitumen, and what they put into this pipeline is diluted bitumen, and then that bitumen is processed into oil products, okay? And so they're extracting bitumen, they're processing they're contaminating water. I think I was reading 4 barrels of water is contaminated for every 1 barrel of diluted bitumen. They have to dilute it because it's like this asphalt. Again, it's different stuff, but it's tarry. And so in order to move it through these pipelines, they have to heat it and they have to dilute it. And so in the pipeline, they're going to be building across Minnesota through treaty territories, and we can cover what treaty territories are versus reservations versus all these. There's a lot of differences. It's going to be cutting through a treaty territory, threatening the waterways, the animals, the sacred rice you just heard, the bitumen. And it's threatening it with not oil, but with diluted bitumen, which is vastly different than oil. Oil has we have an understanding of how to clean up an oil spill, though it is not very good. Diluted bitumen, when it hits water, acts differently than oil. It does not act the exact same way as oil. And so when that hits the water, pieces of it sink, other oil floats on the surface. They skim the top of that oil to clean it up. With diluted bitumen, it separates into the water because it's been diluted, and all those different oil, petroleum products contaminate the water. That contamination is able to travel through the water basin extremely quickly. Chemicals like benzene are in this product that is known to travel even through land very quickly. These are cancer-causing chemicals. And so, yeah, so this is what this pipeline represents is basically killing of more land of people, continual poisoning of indigenous people, like the continual non-stop poisoning of indigenous people by settlers and colonizers. If you look at the areas where the tar sands are being mined and you look at the cancer rates in the local villages, they would be considered like an epidemic in a city if you extrapolate the amount of numbers of rare cancers that you're getting in these small areas. So there's been a very contentious fight against this pipeline, and it's not over, obviously. It's going to continue. Right now we're here. I'm not moving around a lot. I know everyone understands a pretty big COVID fear. Right now COVID's really bad. I'm trying my best to keep space between where I'm at. But we'll try to maybe get into this picket, look around. I can see the chat, so I'll check the chat. So we just wanted to bring you here. Again, we're in St. Paul, Minnesota. This is the Enbridge Line 3 pipeline protest rally, sort of discussion about what the next steps are. The governor of Minnesota, who initially said that they were against this pipeline, has approved the final permits. The final permits have not been stopped from being approved. And now they're projected to actually start construction within weeks. I'm going to try to get close here so we can listen to the speaker. Alright, how do I do it?
Showing up like this in the next few months, both in the cities and up north, right? Yeah. Many people have already checked in at the sign-in table. Make sure before you leave today that you sign in so that we can follow up with you and keep you involved with ways to take more action, to develop skills to stop this pipeline up north, and to show up in relationship with all of the communities in Minnesota that need to stop this pipeline. So make sure to check in before you leave today. I was reminded that I forgot to introduce myself. You're like, why is this person talking? Who are they? So my name is Emma Harrison. I'm a student here in St. Paul, and I organize with Minnesota 350 and other groups around this pipeline. Thank you. It's good to know the person on the mic's name. Think we're kind of back at critical mass. I'll just say it again. Please make sure to sign in at the table before you leave today. We want to stay in touch with you. We want to share ways through Northfield Against Line 3, through 350, through GNU to get skills and a pathway to get you up north and involved with resistance that meets your skills, that is a good way for you to like help stop this pipeline, right? So check in today, sign in before you leave, okay? And I'm going to introduce now Nancy Bolio, who is calling in on the phone. Nancy is part of Leech Lake. She's the northern organizer for Minnesota 350, and she's the co-founder of the RISE Coalition. She is on the phone from up north today to speak with us, and so I think that we'll pass it over.
Let's go, Nancy!
Bonjour, and I hope you all can hear me loud and clear. And I am Nancy, and I am a member, actually a citizen of the Leech Lake Reservation, and I am feeling that my heart is heavy today because the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, made a harmful decision on Thursday, and they issued for one permit. They did this by denying science. They circumvented the law. Once again, they dishonored treaties, and they also ignored the social permit. The appeals, they must understand, are a part of this legal process and have yet to be heard. And to move the construction forward without hearing the appeals only denies our concerns and puts our communities at risk for man camps and COVID-19. So there is no sense of urgency. The urgency here is to keep our people safe, to keep the climate fresh, air, clean water, and all those good things. And when our governor told us in 2017 that any pipe that runs through treaty lands is a non-starter, well, now my heart today is telling me that when I voted for Walz, I thought I had some support. I thought the people did. And I know our Lieutenant Governor opposes Line 3, so I ask our people, to make sure you sign in today and find ways that we could support our Lieutenant Governor, our people on the front lines, our nonprofit organizations, our grassroots, because this must be stopped. And the only way that's going to be stopped is we keep appealing for this social permit that Walz said was needed to build this pipeline. And what we must remind Walz is that we are living in climate crisis right now, and to allow this pipeline is the equivalent to 50 coal plants running non-stop. How can he not see the science? And to make this decision is obvious that corporations have more rights than us people, and we need climate champions to flip the switch and say enough is enough, and we need a Green New Deal here, and we need to honor the treaties. The 1924 executive order under the Walz administration, I had faith in that until this decision was made the other day. The 1924 executive order is the government-to-government relationship. And as we see 3 tribes opposing this, and some, as well as grassroots, Indigenous people resisting Line 3, those 68,000 people that said no, we need to say somewhere, where is this going to stop, Mr. Walz? And he, too, is being bought out by a corporation. I mean, why else would they make an illegal decision? It just really breaks my heart to see this administration fail us, and it also puts our sister Peggy Flanagan in one of the toughest spots in her career. And I'm going to pray for her. I'm going to pray for all of our Okichidas out there, all of our allies who support the opposition to Line 3. And so today I ask you guys to sign in and keep showing up, support our people on the front line, make those phone calls, and I'm also going to make a plea to the Minnesota Department of Commerce and Keith Ellison to file a stay on the construction of this pipeline until all appeals have been heard. That's the legal, ethical thing to do, and to deny us of our voice is a violation of our basic rights as Native people. I want to remind Walz and every person listening today that you are here under treaties. You didn't give us land. You didn't give us hunting and fishing and gathering rights. We gave you land. We gave you guys the rights. And most importantly, those treaties were signed so we could be good neighbors and good stewards of the earth. And Trump is out of the picture now. We got Biden kind of clearing the way, but we also need people like Walz and our senators and our reps, everybody, to get on this wagon and support the opposition to Line 3 and deny that permit. And the 404 ready to probably come out within a few days. But I want to make sure that we keep showing up and that we just don't walk away from this, because we are that social permit. And we do that by keep showing up. So I thank you all for being there today. And from northern Minnesota, we're going to stop Line 3 with your help. And we're going to remind Walz.
Thanks again to everybody who's joining us. We're here in St. Paul, Minnesota.
We're going to remind Walz that he's not listening to the science, and also that sovereignty supersedes science. So let's respect the treaties and be those good stewards of the earth that we must be. So we quit, you guys, and stand tall and stand strong, and let me remind you, when we stand together, we don't stand alone.
Thanks again for joining us here in St. Paul, Minnesota at this Stop Line 3.
Thank you, Nancy. Oh, she's already gone. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Nancy.
Lots of different things in response to the approval of the government Minnesota.
I just want to shout out that if you are here today coming from a place where you have access to generational wealth and you have money to share with the movement, we have some links on the table over there. You can support the Rise Coalition that Nancy co-founded. You can support Misty's work on missing and murdered Indigenous women at Minnesota 350. You can support the Gitchigumi Scouts, which is Taysha's program. right? So make sure to like really dig deep and think about all the resources you have to support this movement. And if you have access to wealth, to show up with your dollars today too, okay? So next up, we have some speakers here from Native Lives Matter. I'd like to invite up Tonya and Gabe to speak. Are you guys around somewhere? Right there. Wonderful. Here you go. Thank you.
Black snake killers! Black snake killers!
Black snake killers!
Black snake killers!
Black snake killers!
Black snake killers!
Black snake killers!
One time, Miniwichone!
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 Miniwichone! Miniwichone! Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you guys for inviting us into your space today. We're organizers from Native Lives Matter here in Minneapolis.
Love you!
We love you too. So, our focus this summer has been police brutality. We've been working on that a lot. But I think it's about time we get back into the fight for our environment and our Indigenous sovereignty. We were at Standing Rock for about 8 months. So I think Minnesota needs to have a Standing Rock soon. A lot of us left our lives to support Standing Rock, and some of us are willing to do that again. We had our kids out in Standing Rock. They went to the school. We were there on the bridge all of those days, swimming across the river to go to Turtle Island. I don't think that Minnesota is ready for all that yet. Well, I think it's time that we bring that energy here. We're still fighting pipelines over in South Dakota. Keystone XL's ready to go. DAPL's pumping double capacity right now. As soon as they put that in, it broke.
Yep.
Next to the homeland where I'm from, in the Sisseton-Wahpeton Reservation. So they don't think that any of this is possible, that we're all going to be okay for them to dump all this nasty shit on our homelands. Well, it ain't going to happen. We're here in Minnesota, South Dakota, British Columbia, Louisiana, Iowa, North Dakota. We're willing to go the extra mile for our people and for our water. It's in our treaties. This is not to be allowed. It's not to be allowed to desecrate our sacred places, to pollute them. It's against our treaties to be killing our people on our own homelands. I think a lot of people don't understand that. You guys are on the home of the Dakota right now. Dakota and Anishinaabe territory. And that's how it always is going to be. Regardless of who's in your government, who's running shit, who thinks they run shit. They don't run shit, we run shit. They can't do any of this type of shit without our say. So I think we need to use our voices, bring your spirits to defeat these black snakes. Cut the head off them.
Yes!
We have allies and comrades up in British Columbia building tiny homes to put in the path of the pipelines. Just want to give a shout out to our tiny home warriors up in British Columbia. So you guys are gonna have to prepare, because this is gonna be a big, humongous fight. It has to be. I don't know what all these Washichu people think they're gonna drink when they fuck up the water. And I don't know why they come out and try to counter-protest and think we don't see them and want to come into the crowds and act like they're supporting, and they're really not. They're here to just cry their white tears about their leader who was kicked to the fucking curb. But we see you. We see you, Trump supporters. We see you, Blue Line supporters. It's disgusting. You guys should be here on this side.
Yep.
You don't like clean water?
What are you guys gonna drink? Bud Light's made from water. Miller Light's made from water. Where are you guys gonna live? If you guys keep fucking with us like this, your lease is fucking up.
Right.
We want to talk reparations. We need to be the first on that list for reparations.
Yep.
We're gonna take it all back. All of it. The land, the water. You guys didn't do good with it, so we want it back. It belongs to us, and we belong to it. We want to thank all of the white allies and the accomplices. We can't do this without you guys. It's not always about money. Just your voice and your spirit and your body is good enough sometimes. Make sure to protect the Indigenous water protectors. We've seen how the governor brought the police from Ramsey County and Hennepin County to terrorize us while we were protecting the water in Standing Rock.
That's that bullshit.
That's right. So as much as they like to fight, some of us really like to fight too. And we're still here. We're still here. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here till the end of time, just like we've been here since the beginning. I heard a lot of, if you don't like it, well, you can go home. During this election season, a lot of people told us that. Well, we are home.
Yep.
We are home. You can line up your boats too and get the fuck on too. You know, we're from here. We're from the earth. We have our creation stories that don't involve boats. But thank you guys for inviting us into your space and allowing us to speak. We haven't been too visible in the fight for the pipelines because of what we've been doing for our justice families. They need to be visible as well, because the invisibility is killing our people.
Yep.
It's exterminating our people.
Talk about it.
All of us Indigenous people need to be on every single platform in this so-called America. We need to be involved in the decision making that goes along with the land and the water and our mineral rights, because we are entitled to those mineral rights. So like I said, it's in our treaties, and you're violating our treaties whenever you think it's okay to put this bullshit in our land, desecrate our sacred burial sites. You're walking on the blood and bones of my ancestors here. And this is some bullshit. We got to keep coming out and trying to beg and beg and beg for us to be safe, for us to have clean water, for us to feed our children and our grandchildren. I have a granddaughter, and I'll be damned if she'd be out here fighting for this shit when she gets older.
Yes.
She's entitled to this.
Yes.
And I'm going to make fucking damn sure that she doesn't have to fight as hard as I do.
Yes.
So thank you guys for your bodies, your voices, your spirits, everything. We appreciate you guys so much. We can't do this without you.
Appreciate you too.
Get your family members out here. They all need water. They all need air. Yeah, we all use gas and oil, but you know, we can change that.
Yep. Yep.
That's what the sun is for. That's what the wind is for. We don't need to be digging into the earth. It's causing problems all over the world just for just a little bit of oil. This house behind us is probably funded by some of that oil. His lights, his heating, the water out of his taps. I don't think that they really understand that, you know, this is needed. It's needed to live, to just live, to breathe. They think it's a joke, and that we're all just gonna come out here and rally around and go home. Well, some of us, when we go home, it's horrible at home. We get treated the worst of the worst on our own land. And even that land that we were allotted, they want that now too. So this is a continued genocide and extermination of our people. But still yet we flourish and we grow and we continue our lifelines with our grandbabies and our children. Our children were out in Standing Rock with us. We call them our tiny warriors. And they'll be out here with us again. So I think plans need to be made to be having another Standing Rock up north. Whoever is in charge of that, let us know. We want to help. We got bodies. We got voices. And our boots will always be on the ground except our moccasins. So thank you guys. We love you guys.
I just have a question. Where the fuck is Peggy Flanagan at? Where the fuck is that bitch at? Cause she said she's from from White Earth, and she came out to every fucking thing. She was coming out to McGizzy Communications. She would come to the hood and see all the Native students when it was time. But I haven't seen that bitch not once since I've been out here since George died, fighting for Native Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter and all stolen lives. She claims she's from White Earth. 2 of my cousins were killed and they were members of White Earth, so why didn't you come and support that? You do so much for missing, you claim to do so much for missing and murdered Indigenous women, but these pipelines are contributing to that. With their man caps and their dirty ass fucking pervert workers. That's all I have to say, thank you. When I say Native lives, you say matter. Native lives, Native lives, Native lives. All power to the people.
Just we're here in front of the Governor's Mansion in St. Paul, Minnesota. People are speaking at the mic.
Yeah, thank you all so much. We're excited to build with you and to keep working together. A few weeks ago, up north, someone in the fight asked me what am I willing to sacrifice to stop this pipeline. And I've been thinking about that question a lot, but coming from my background, it's a privilege to be asked, what would you sacrifice? Right? Because I have that choice and not a lot of our comrades do. So if you're here in a body like mine and you grew up with some privilege, sure, ask what are you willing to sacrifice, but know that we gotta really dig deep, because this is the time to sacrifice the privileges that we have and to share them and to build this stuff together, right? So I'll say again, make sure to sign in today, either over here or to sign the Pledge of Resistance on stopline3.org to stay plugged into the fight, because we gotta keep building and keep moving forward. We have a couple more speakers for you guys today. I'd like to invite up Annabelle from the Land Stewardship Project. Are you over there, Annabelle? Thank you so much. Hi. My name is Annabelle Niblett, and I'm here today to represent Land Stewardship Project. Combating the climate crisis right now is crucial. We don't have time.
You gotta scream into that mic for us to hear you, girl. Thank you.
We don't have time to wait for Tim Walz to decide to do something about this. He has proven time and time again that he won't stand with us in this fight. Every action we take today or don't affects future lives and affects today's youth. This is the world that we have to live in a few years. We need to take drastic action right now to deal with this, and we need to prove to Tim Walz that we will continue to fight against the pipeline. You all know why we're here today. Governor Walz just went against countless climate activists and empirical examples of pipelines failing and approved the permits for Line 3. This is another instance where Tim Walz has chosen to put fossil fuel corporations over the people, the land, and Indigenous voices. It is the responsibility of me, it is the responsibility of every other white person here, and most of all, it is the responsibility of Tim Walz to listen to the Indigenous activists who have been doing this work for so long and stop this pipeline. We need Tim Walz, we need our political institutions, we need our politicians to serve the people and the land and our interests instead of big oil, big ag, and every other corporation that Tim Walz is in the pocket of. To Walz and every other elected official, you need to be able to stand up for us against corporate interests. We need all hands on deck to fight for the communities, the land, the water, the air, and the climate. We need to invest in a just transition to a clean energy economy, transformed farm and food system, and thriving communities. There's a better future that we can build together, and our leaders need to be united with us to make it reality. Tim Walz has not stood up for us. Line 3 poses a great threat to Indigenous lands, rural communities, our climate, and our water sources. This affects all of us, but most of all, it affects Indigenous people who are having their treaties violated with this pipeline. Fossil fuel companies are able to take advantage of marginalized groups and destroy that land for profit because the government has never been an institution that will work with Indigenous people. We need to be actively fighting against big corporations and fossil fuel companies predominantly concerned with profits at every step of the process. These companies don't have our interests at heart. They just want profit. They will do anything, even destroy our land, destroy our water, destroy Indigenous communities for these pipelines. We are going to fight this, and we need to keep fighting it. Donate to organizations already doing this work right now. Educate yourself about the Indigenous resistance that's taking place, and donate to Indigenous groups who are doing this work on the front lines. Call your elected officials, continue to show up to protests, and prove to Tim Walz that this fight is not over. Thank you. Thank you, Annabelle. So, we have a little bit more to close out. I'm going to invite Misty Babineau back up to end our day. So I will pass it off to Misty, and thank you all again for being here. Make sure to sign in and stay tuned for ways to keep in the fight, okay?
Woo! Yeah, so there's so much I want to tell you guys. I could talk to you guys for hours and fucking days about this shit. Right? We got time? No, we don't. We gotta get out of here, guys. We gotta get out of here. I got things to do today. I wanted to take a time and talk to you about the social impacts of this project, right? And I want to talk to you about a small place called Fort Peck, Montana. Fort Peck has a population of 218 people. They had 48 registered sex offenders living in that area. Fossil fuel infrastructure. I'm going to ask you to hold your booze because there's a point right here. Fossil fuel infrastructure project came through, and that town of a population of 218 went to having 600 registered sex offenders living in their town. That is a tribal community. And I'm going to tell you something. They can't, because the government and the oppressors don't let us govern ourselves, we can't do anything about this. These people can come into our reservations and inflict atrocities, and there's nothing we can fucking do about it. And that's what you're bringing to us, Tim. And I'm going to be clear, I'm leaving Peggy out of this because I remember where Peggy was when we were fighting for that task force bill. Peggy was sitting right next to me. When we were fighting against legislation that would have extended civil liberties to protesters and made us convicted felons, she was there fighting for us. So I wanted to take a moment to remind you about all that. When we say Native Lives Matter, we're also talking about Peggy. Peggy's Native too. And she is tired. I don't understand. She came out last night and says she has always been in open opposition against this pipeline. And for somebody who has been very loud and outspoken against this administration, I stand with Peggy and I support her. And I'm asking you to do the same. Because what she did took courage. And now there's probably tension there. But you know why she did that? For us. And for that water. So I'm going to invite you all to do some reading. And do your own damn research. Write this name down. Sarah Deer. I want you to go look at her readings. I want you to read The Garden of Truth. That's a collection of stories about survivors who have been sex trafficked. I want you to hear and I want you to feel that fucking pain. Because every time one of us goes missing, we all feel it. What you call activism, we call breathing. Woo. So I want to thank you one more time for being here. I am an Indigenous woman. I am an enrolled member of the Red Lake Nation, and I am leading a campaign at Minnesota 350 to address the missing and murdered Indigenous relative epidemic here in this state. This campaign is Indigenous-led through and through and survivor-driven. But we need money. We need your support and we need your help. So if you guys want to help, come sign up on these sheets, please. We're going to be working with amazing individuals such as Tasha Martineau here. We're working with a researcher and respected survivor named Christine Stark. We're working with MMIW task force members, Senator Mary Kunesh-Poddin and Sheila Lamb. We are working with the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition. We are doing this right because this is an Indigenous issue and it will be Indigenous-led. So I want to thank you beforehand for your support. And to those Trump supporters out there that can hear my voice, I want you to know something. We're coming for you. No, listen. We're coming to bring you clean water. We're coming to bring you clean air. We are coming to make sure that your constitutional rights aren't trampled on like ours are. Because you know what? Because we got nothing but love in our hearts. So I want to thank you all once again for being here. I'm going to pass this over to Tasha.
It always ups my game to see some fashion involved. How's it going? It just brought a smile to my face. I looked over and I seen the Trump flags and I was like, ooh! Ooh! Alright. I gotta calm down the angry leftist of all that encompasses me. Hello! Hi, beautiful! I bet this dog would like some clean water too. I actually came here today because I knew these fine American citizens over here were coming today. I knew they were coming, and I knew they were coming in opposition. Just imagine that. Imagine being a governor that is pissed off the left and the right on the same fucking day. How? One Minnesota, come on. You know, it just blew my mind. I was like, hang on. I was like, I want to go and I want to speak, but I don't want to go home and have like my really cool radical leftist friends be like, what were you doing? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, unity. I just want to say fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. He lost. Fuck Donald Trump.
So a small group of Trump supporters, and I just think more
I
gathering.
was not so excited about Biden winning, and I watched the like presidential electoral debate, and I was like, damn. I looked over at like chief and council, and I was like, y'all ain't that bad. Like, I think we're good right now. It's like, I was embarrassed as an American to watch what happened, but I'm not an American. I'm older than the concept. I'm much older than the concept. That's how I comfort myself, understanding that hundreds of years before this pipeline, I was already here. And for thousands of years, I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be in the bush. I'm still going to be hunting. I'm still going to be trapping. I'm still going to be gathering wild rice. We're in the time now of 7 fires. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it means we're going to come to a fork in the road. And we need to figure out where we're going. As a mother, I'm raising the next 7th generation. I'm raising the next generation. I have that power as a life giver to instill what's going to be the building blocks of what America is going to become. And I am proud of my children. About 2 years ago, I was sitting in a room with my daughter, and she looked at me and she said to me, at the time my child was 6, so I'm really proud of this. She looked at me and she said, "Ni mama," and I listened, because when my daughter speaks Ojibwe, it's serious. So I listened. I said, "What? What, my darling?" She said, "There's a Standing Rock in Minnesota." And I said, "No, there's not. That was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it's never going to happen again." She said, "Well, it needs to. It's line 3, Mom, and it's coming here." Yep. And I just looked at her. I said, "I know." And what she said next set fire to every cell in my being with a purpose. She said, "Then why are you just sitting here?" Ouch. So at first I asked her, "Well, what do you want me to do? What do you expect me to do?" And she goes, "We're Anishinaabe. Feed the people." So that's how I started my activism, was by bringing food out to the camps. And now I'm on the front line, putting my body on the line to stop this pipeline, because I promised my children that this pipeline would be stopped. When I think about who I am as an Anishinaabe person, I think about all that's been sacrificed so that I could be here today, so that I could stand here today and speak to all you great people. I think about my ancestors who starved to death in the winter of 1850. I think about my grandmothers whose hair and virginity was taken in the boarding schools. I think about the brave men and women who whispered a forbidden language, clinging to who it is who make us who we are. And I honor that. I honor Sacred Mother by taking a stand for her. And I want to remind every single one of you here today that you are the prayers of thousands of ancestors. You are the embodiment of those prayers, whispered on the lips of broken children, praying for the day when the warrior rises again. You are that warrior. In 100 years, when our grandchildren speak about their ancestors, I need you to take a stand today and be someone worth speaking of. We are already here. We are already here. I'm speaking to the Trump supporters as well. We are already here. And your ancestors' bones lay here too. Mother Earth is crying out for the warriors to rise again. Take a stand. I need you. She needs you. And if you take a moment to listen to her, your ancestors are here too. I promise you'll hear her. Miigwech.
Thank you, Keisha. I just want to ask you guys, ignore them. They're like hurt little children right now throwing temper tantrums. They're great hate and fearmonger lost, and they're having problems accepting that. So let's let them mourn, and let's do what we came here to do. So now I want to introduce you to, I'd like to introduce you to a staffer from Rep. Omar Fate's office, Luna. Senator, my bad. Shit, sorry guys.
Thank you. Well, hey everybody, it's great to see all of these folks out. My name is Luna Zeidner. I am the outreach director for the Omar Fate for State Senate campaign, and it is so exciting to see all of you folks out here, young folks, and especially our Indigenous community from across the state. Thank you so much for coming out, for speaking your truth about the legacy of colonialism in our state. As many of you have said today, we should be disappointed but not surprised in the actions of Governor Tim Walz. One thing that I have a hard time not thinking about is how when Governor Walz was in Congress before he ran for governor, he was one of the most conservative members of the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives. And that was because Governor Walz supported pipeline development across the country. particularly the Keystone XL pipeline. Do you know why so many Democrats and Republicans support these pipelines? Money, but war. They're determined to continue the imperialist legacy of our American empire. They need oil to run the war machine in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia, too. It is a relief to see that, Senator-elect Fateh is going to be one of the first 2 socialists in our government, probably for the first time in 100 years since the Farmer Labor Party had control of the state. So I guess one thing I just want to say real quick before we wrap up here is, what does that look like, for us? We are going to work at every opportunity we have to pass a ban on all pipelines in this state. Minnesota will never see fracking again. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to get a Green New Deal for Minnesota. Let's hear some noise for the Green New Deal. What does the Green New Deal look like? It is a move away from extractive economies that take our land, our resources, our labor, and our human lives, and moves towards renewable, fair work. We're going to build sustainable energy. We're going to repair our environment. We're going to rebuild our environment with our Indigenous communities in mind. We're going to create a fair economy that serves our Indigenous communities across the state, both in Little Earth, in Leech Lake, in White Earth, everywhere. We're going to make sure that happens. Are we being bugged?
I don't know.
No, we're not being bugged. Thank you for recording this. We're gonna build an economy that works for everybody, that repairs our planet, that heals our communities. Because this extractive economy that we have to push war and destruction across our world, it's not working. And I think we all know that. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you for fighting against the pipeline for a better world. All right, I'll pass it back off to Misty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Luna. Woo! Tasha.
We're gonna wrap up here in a moment. Misty's gonna help us wrap up in a moment when we're done. But I just wanted to say something because I love the power dynamics at play right now. I came here today to be a good relative. I came here today to defend Governor Walz against those who are here to show opposition to him. I came here to thank him for wanting to keep greater Minnesota safe. And then he approved this pipeline, and I was like, welcome.
Tell him to screenshot.
Yeah, everyone screenshot this. This is a training sign up here. There's also, if you're interested in donating, here's the link.
And then also, it's more information.
You can screenshot this. I know it's small. Is there a place online that
So now I want to invite you all to maybe not close your eyes, but let's calm our bodies and our spirits for a moment. I want you to think about that love and why you're here today. I want you to think about all that you're fighting for today, and for those 7 generations down the road. And I want you to think about the life and the love and the energy that this ground, that this Mother Earth is giving you. And I'm going to invite you to reach down and touch her. I want you to thank her for giving you and everyone you love everything you need to live, and asks for nothing. She asks for nothing. And I want to invite you to remember to do this every day. Every day you get down and you touch her and you thank her. Now I'm going to invite you all to rise like the warriors you are. Oh, you want to hear? No line free! No line free! No line free! No line free! We're coming. We're here to give water, clean water and air for all of you over there too. That's why we're here. So I hope you can hear that. One more time. I want you guys to give it up for each and every one of you in this crowd. Let's make some noise. Keep it going. I'm going to ask you to respectfully leave this place and make sure you leave this place better than you found it. And if you have not come signed up on our table to support future actions, you need to do that before you leave, or I'm going to follow you to your car. I'm going to follow you to your car. So once again, you? Yeah. I'm giving the mic to Emma. Thank you all so much for being here. Fuck Cambridge.
Yeah, fuck Enbridge! Thank you all for staying focused on what matters. There are going to be distractions in this fight, but we do not care, right? We are going to stay focused. Thank you, Andy. Make sure to check in at the table if you want to take an action today. You can send a postcard pre-stamped to Keith Ellison. He has been a friend in this fight. He is suing ExxonMobil. Send him a postcard and ask him to do the right thing. Keith Ellison can help us file a stay on construction. Make that ask, but also sign up to get plugged in to go up and take more action, all right? Thank you all for being here today.
All right, everybody. I'm going to step to the side and probably go down here. Again, this is St. Paul, Minnesota. This is the Governor's Mansion. The Line 3, tar sands Line 3 pipeline was just approved. I think the final permits. They're actually going to start building it is the rumor. Or they have all the legalese ready to do it. Again, I can run you through what the pipeline is. It is diluted bitumen pipeline. Diluted bitumen is sort of like the consistency of asphalt. So what they're going to put through that pipeline is diluted asphalt-ish sort of stuff. So it's kind of like they have to like warm it a little bit and then dilute it and stuff so they can move it through the pipeline, because if it's like room temperature, it's kind of almost a solid, a viscous solid. And so these pipelines are, you know, tar sands doesn't act the same in water. It's kind of like a whole different type of petroleum product. And so there's a lot of fear around tar sands breaking into waterways. Here in Minnesota, the water table is really high. And all the lakes, a lot of them are interconnected through the water table. So there's a lot of fear that if one of these pipelines breaks, it's going to be, I think, one of the biggest tar sands pipelines in the world. That it'll pollute the local water, but then it'll slowly leach into other water. All right, well, so the other thing that's been happening as this rally is going on, and it's very important to know, just sort of the reality that I didn't really want to talk about. What am I talking about? So today, I guess there's like a Trump rally. I assume they were at the Capitol, and they came over here to protest the Stop Line 3 rally. So you can see all these folks right here. The American flags, the Trump flags.
You do realize your electric cars are run on coal power plants?
Yeah, actually, they're bad. So the organizers of the event wanted everyone to sort of leave and not interact with these people who are gathering. I assume they're gathering because there was like a presented target for them. Like I don't think that this was
USA, baby.
Organized. I'm gonna go find out, but I guess it's not my priority at this second. Like I just wanted to show you the Stop Line 3 thing. But it's probably important to know that here in the United States right now, there's tension around the elections. You all experienced that. Go vote then. Really great job with the Go TV work that was done in Indigenous country. The Trump campaign has refused to accept to concede the results that have been provided so far. The Biden campaign has been declared winner kind of multiple times. And so this sort of gathering of Trump supporters are gathering here, from my understanding, because they're protesting the results of the election and protesting that people voted more for the other people. And they also, we're basically witnessing like an incredible disinformation campaign that has been going on for years, leading up into this moment, and now we're seeing how that disinformation campaign is actually going to play out. Because what's happening right now in the United States, the president of the United States already said what he was going to do. He was never going to accept losing. And so now, after saying that for years, he has not accepted losing. And so now the apparatus of the United States government is trying to function with somebody who is not following protocols of governance. And put in place Joe Biden, who has won the election, popular vote, and the electoral college. Kind of a switch of what we're just watching, so just bear with me. Again, this is what's going on here in Minnesota right now. And I think that regardless of how you feel about this sort of tension, it's real. And this is just what happened at a anti-pipeline protest, and then you had these folks show up. You can see this guy has his little knuckle glove. I'm really proud of it. The hashtag Stop the Steal. Stop the Steal! This guy has a bunch of Red Bull. This guy has a bunch of Red Bull. So anyway, so now you kind of have these two sides just looking at each other. They're chanting Stop the Steal. This is the anti-pipeline protest. Yeah, I mean, it's a disinformation campaign. I apologize. It's been going on for a few years, and now we're kind of at this point where people are deciding what they believe. And I hate to advise people out there, but some people are believing the things they're being told by the disinformation campaign that's been running for years. So much so that now it's sort of their own truth and view of the world is being dictated by their information. You're seeing that play out. You know, I don't know what to tell you, what to expect of this sort of thing. But, you know, like I said, we're here at the Stop Line 3 protest. Now you have all these right-wing people, conservative people, some Proud Boys, it looks like. You see some people are Proud Boys here. Oh, here's this Proud Boy. You can see that people are color check the police. Showing the OK symbol, which has sort of been taken by white supremacists.
Taking over this protest, baby. We're here to show y'all that nobody's stolen election and Trump's gonna have 4 more years in the White House. Fuck the commies!
You guys coming by saying fuck the commies. Because somehow everyone here is a communist, which is a completely absurd view. To say that the communism is pretty, you know, it's a political outlook that takes some learning, you know. I doubt everyone here is, anyways. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is really important to know. You know, I'm sorry that it happened like this. I know that this isn't exactly what we wanted to look, but here in the United States right now, this is what we're at in the elections. A lot of people seem to have won the elections in their minds. Both sides have won, I guess. And you're seeing this tension right now. I'm not sure what's going on in Washington, D.C. In Washington, D.C., there's a large pro-Trump rally saying that he shouldn't leave office. And so now you have people walking through. This is usually an attempt to cause some sort of conflict, right? So they know that these are like opposing forces. So now they come through with their flags and sort of like put themselves in a position to be attacked or feel like they want something to happen to them. So they're going to do this in hopes that something happens. So that's what they're doing right now. And, it's usually what happens anyways. So they're marching through. I just want to ask. Were you at the government? Okay, so I just wanted to check really quick. And so this rally was at the capital of St. Paul, which is maybe 10 minutes away, right? They then heard about the Stop Line 3 rally that was happening here, and then came here to protest them in front of the governor's mansion. These rallies have been organized by the right, Trump supporters, so on and so forth, under a hashtag. And you heard him chanting it earlier. And so yeah, so it's interesting to watch this sort of play out here in the United States, because this guy has this white claw bandolier. There's a cowboy right here with what a nightmare. Here we are. So up here for community. There's another community for all you people who like to talk about organizing communities. Here is the right-wing community hanging out together. Take some notes that that's a real thing. Sorry, sometimes I feel like there's like a misunderstanding about what so the left and right. Like, I see some medics here trying to provide masks to the right-wing supporters. Now, most of them aren't wearing masks. Some people are obviously really intent on hiding their identity. You know, this guy has like this full mask. This guy's a Proud Boy mask. He's the Proud Boy dude. And so these are, will be made up of different factions of right-wing agitators, right-wing militants as well. It is wild. I don't know what to tell you. So now what's happened, I'm going to be honest with what's happened. I'm going to be back a little bit.
Hey, Trumpers, go back to Europe. That's where you belong. No, I was born here.
So, I'm going to be back. I'm not going to stay alive this whole time. Yeah, I can see the chat. If you have questions, drop them in. We're going to keep our distance right now. I was going to discuss what's just happened, and I'm probably going to take it down because I don't want to get... If you've been following along, you know that I got here a little bit ago to film the Stop Line 3 rally. Today there's an organized effort by right-wing actors in the United States to support the claims of the current president, who by all descriptions has lost the election. But the person in charge of the presidency has declared that it's fraudulent. Today they organized this rally. These people, and I verified this, I asked some of the people here, heard that this rally was going on, and they marched from the Capitol all the way here to protest the Stop Line 3 rally. The Trump administration has been very for fossil fuels, and there's more and more of them showing up. Like most of the stuff, most of the Stop Line 3 folks have left. And now it's a right-wing rally. Now they're chanting, fuck anti-fascists. So they're chanting, fuck the people who are against anti-fascism. Fuck people who are against anti-fascism, which in essence might suggest they are for the opposite of that, which would be fascism. Very confusing. But that's been a very common chant as well. Right-wing actors, we're kind of just exploring it. Just imagine like it's like a little, let's take a look. But we're not going to stick around. You know, I don't think this is going to go on. This is mostly right-wing people. I'm probably like, I feel fine. I don't think like my safety is like questioned or nothing. Yeah, dear lefties, I don't hate you. I love you from the Trump supporter here. Again, there's a wide variety of right-wing actors, right? So you have that person. You have people over there who like are prepared for violence. You have people who are just here to chant. It's like every protest, but this is a right-wing protest with different right-wing factions all coming together to hold the street, I guess. And yeah, this I think that's it. You know, questions, drop it in the chat right now. I'll give it a few minutes. That's true. Somebody's mentioning at Standing Rock. There was a recording that came out from Energy Partners, I think a gathering, stockholders gathering, saying that with the election of Donald Trump, they didn't say Donald Trump, they said with the election of the new president, it was going to be way easier to get this done.
Watch the cars coming from that direction and mow us down.
So and ask you if you're aware of the vehicles behind you that they could try to run us over. Another really common thing that's been happening. And,
Just really quick. I love you guys. I'm so glad you're standing up for the environment and Native lives. I appreciate that, and I love you guys. I'm glad you're fighting back. Keep fighting for Native lives.
Yes, a lot of the rhetoric from the right is this idea. When somebody's saying, I know what the truth of America is, they know whose country it is. Everyone else who can't accept the truth besides like Indians, of course. And yeah, so this argument you're seeing kind of happen across the United States. You can see this faction right here is a celebration of genocide. You know, the right-wing actors in these groups, they look at what happened in the history of the United States as the right thing to happen, and that the genocide should have happened, and that America just won, and everyone should love America. It's really part of the arguments they're making, and they're gathered around that flag. Those people wearing the Proud Boys uniform are actually for genocide. They're for the history of the United States instead of their colonial history as a good thing, as a representation of what Westerners should do, from my understanding. And so that's terrifying. That's happening though. All right, you know what? I think that's it. I'm gonna go now. I just wanted you to see this person's look at the size of this thing, all the protesters from the Southland 3 action are basically watching this point, and now it's just a bunch of right-wing protesters who came over here from where they were gathered. Alrighty. Whoa, what a fucking... Sorry, this word. What? That's high. Okay. Well, my name is Lorenzo Cerda. I'm here with the Indian Collective. We're trying to stop free protest. It's important to know sort of like the divisions that exist in the country and what we're sort of walking through. So I hope this is a little bit of enlightening. It wasn't my complete intention to end up here. You know, I didn't know. Again, this is live, so things just happen. This is what happened.
Justice for Cordell. Justice for Cordell. Justice for Cordell.
What a wild time. Okay. All right, everybody. I am going to take this down. No millions march, only 100 in DC. Yeah, the number is sort of I think that again, I'm the director of tactical media at the Indian Collective. I've been following a lot of this stuff for a while. The numbers, sort of a lot of people knew this was going to happen. Obviously, Trump, like we said, told everyone for years that he would never accept losing. He literally told everyone with his mouth over and over again that he was not going to accept losing. And so now we're experiencing that happen. The fear was, of course, that he'd have a lot of supporters. This seems like a lot for Minnesota. I'm not gonna lie, it's like kind of we're straight keep gathering. It's mad. They're chanting, "Take a shower." Somehow the sort of chant here is really sort of high schoolish experience. I don't get it, but it happens. But it's nice to see sort of his supporters come out to support the disinformation that's been being fed to them for years, to prepare them for this moment. And so yeah, we're watching that play out, and hopefully it stays calm. We have seen a few instances of violence spread across the country already. They have been happening already because of this. Sort of like these factions that have really solidified themselves in ideological beliefs. I guess Western chauvinism, which is the idea of domination and genocide being positive. I don't know where we're gonna end up, everybody, but this is what it looks like in St. Paul, Minnesota, as Trump supporters gather to try to disrupt a South Free Light rally, but it's already over. And now they're just here. I'm not gonna give no one no hug. Look at this thing. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flags. 8 flag truck right there. They're not messing around. They got 8 flags in their truck. Where the fuck's there's some more flags coming. And I got the memo to get their flags out. Need more of this. Alright, I'm gonna go for real. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for being here. And again, like, reality's reality. These tensions exist in this country. And I think everyone's pretty hoping that they're going to decrease in time and things will settle back to normal. I think that's what a lot of people expected with the election of Joe Biden, was sort of like this return to whatever description enormously they told themselves. Obviously, for people of color, Indigenous people, the normalcy hasn't been great. People want that, I guess, again. Anyways, follow Indian Collective. We're going to be following Indigenous struggles across the country, but also struggles just between, I guess, factions of left and right wing electoral politics or sort of ideological divides that are occurring here in this country. I'm the director of Collective Media over at Indian Collective, Lorenzo Serna. You can follow me, follow us, hit like, subscribe, and get alerted if you want to. And yeah, let's expect more lives from us. We'll be doing live a lot more. Again, the stop line 3 fights just kind of probably going to accelerate. And also we have this going on as well. So, y'all take care. No, this is somebody's asking, this is the Pro Line 3 rally. No, this is a Trump supporter right-wing rally that came after the Line 3 rally as it was ending. They were gathered at the capital of Minnesota, which is about 10-15 minutes away. They heard about this rally, relocated here to disrupt it and protest it. It was already ending. But now they've gathered in front of the mansion and they're just protesting. So that's what it is. I just thought it was important to show the dynamic. I was just seeing this question in the chat. I am going to go down now, though. I think that this probably is enough of this, and then I'm not going to go in there too much. Give me a second. All right, y'all take care. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry if this was a little traumatic to run into this, but again, you never know what's going to happen with them live, and I think it's important that we continue to provide context to, these things that are happening around us, and just know the reality of the ground that we're standing on. So thank you so much for joining us. You saw all the information about the Stop Line 3 fights, and just stay tuned. Follow Indian Collective for more updates. Follow all those links I gave you, and yeah, much love. Thank you all.